You ever forget to pack something you wish you would have brought? Well, this is how we pack our bag before we get off the cruise ship for an excursion or self-led excursion. Of course, you can buy many of these items on the ship, however, you'd be overpaying for it. And that just wouldn't be the Tips for Cruisers way of doing things. Here's how we do it. Okay, so first thing in the morning, we are going to pack our backpack. But really, we're gonna get some food in our tummies because many of the excursions that are through the ship leave a little bit earlier. So we're gonna order room service if we're sailing Royal Caribbean, and we're gonna order the continental version. So Mrs. Tips is gonna be packing the backpack while I will be ordering food, well, eating food for us and feeding the kids if the kids are on the sailing with us. And now remember, the continental breakfast is free on Royal Caribbean. However, if you go with the American breakfast, yes, there's going to be an extra fee of about $7.95 plus gratuity and maybe a cash tip for the person bringing you the food. So the first things that Mrs. Tips is going to be packing in the backpack is going to be things like sunscreens, hats, and oh yeah, sunglasses. Silly me. Notice I said backpack and not tote bag because this is gonna be much easier to carry with two shoulder straps as opposed to a tote bag over one shoulder. Plus, you're gonna fit a good amount in here. So you're gonna pack your sunscreen, sunglasses, and hat. Remember the Caribbean sun, you're closer to the equator, so the sun is much more hot and you need to apply sunscreen a little bit more liberally and more frequently. And a hat, of course, is gonna help with that as well. Now, one of the other things that's very important that we're gonna pack every single time that if we did forget, we could buy it on the ship, but we'd be overpaying for it, is motion sickness medicine. Now, that might be because you're tendering, that might be because your excursion is going to be snorkeling. The first time I ever went snorkeling, I actually got seasick because I'm just floating there at the top of the water for a while and I never realized how much motion. So motion sickness medicine is a must for us when we get off the ship. And then sometimes also if you're gonna take a taxi and you're riding in the back seat, you're not used to riding in the back seat, you might get motion sickness or car sick. So once again, that is gonna help. And next, besides motion sickness medicine, you're gonna want a good power bank should you know your phone is going to drain early or you're gonna take a lot of video. Having a power bank is extremely important in many cases. So we're gonna pack a power bank and a good one. I'll have one linked in the description for your convenience if you still need one. And of course there's towels, but we're not gonna actually pack towels right now. We're just gonna have a separate bag, potentially such as this, that folds up real small to carry towels in or to put our wet swim trunks and suits in after we get back from the beach. But you're gonna actually be able to get towels as you leave the ship by using your sign and sail or your SeaPass card. So just make sure you bring your SeaPass card and you'll be good to be able to check out a few different towels. For family for it, we usually only check out two because they gotta fit in the bag. Now, besides your sign and sail card or your SeaPass card, you're gonna wanna bring your government issued ID, credit card or debit card, and some cash. You really only need US dollars. You don't need to exchange before you leave for the local currency because the Caribbean islands, including Mexico as well, they're like US dollars. Now, if you're gonna use your credit card, you're gonna wanna make sure there's no foreign transaction fees. I do like to use credit cards at some shops, potentially, but if I'm eating at a restaurant, I'm gonna make sure I have enough cash so that I don't have to worry about my card leaving out of my sight and potentially have fraudulent charges on my card. So US dollars, small bills to tip maybe a taxi driver or a shore excursion lead or bus driver. Also, many times you can negotiate a better rate with cash if you're gonna take a taxi. If you are traveling with children, we pack a little bit differently and add some extra things to the backpack. We actually bring a very large suitcase, so the kind that you have to check when we fly down to Florida, so when we leave out of Florida. And we bring pre-packaged snacks. And the reason for that is these excursions can be some really long days and pre-packaged snacks are allowed on the ship. They're also allowed off the ship. You're not allowed to bring any fruit or vegetables or really food unless it's pre-packaged snacks off the ship. Don't ask me how I know. So prepackaged snacks for the kids, or maybe a hangry husband, is a very good idea to have as well. And next, and maybe most importantly, I don't know, is going to be a good water bottle. My favorite water bottle is the ice shaker water bottle. You've heard me talk about Big Blue in the past, and you got a nice little carry handle, and it clips with a carabiner. Doesn't have to be this massive one, but it clips with the carabiner. The other nice thing I like about it is that it's got a little basket. So I could even add fruit in here, and it could be an infuser, or I could use it for my protein powder. I saw it on Shark Tank once, and I fell for it. I mean, I bought it, and I own several ice shakers, so I'll leave a link in the description. But a good water bottle with lots of ice is a very good thing to have when you leave the ship as well. Or just carrying it around the ship, of course. Okay, what did I forget? What are you gonna pack in your backpack before you get off the ship? And of course, if you don't want to just drink water, there's a bunch of free drinks on the ship that you could put in this as well. And you can watch that video right here. This is Brian, Tips for Cruisers. Maybe you want to share this video so that way you don't have to remember all these tips for a friend. We'll see you over in this video here.